send me to the store. She said she'd bake some gingerbread if I would sweep the floor. Said if I would make the bed and watch the telephone, she would send me out to get a chocolate ice cream cone. So I did the thing she said. Then she made me some gingerbread, and I went out, just me alone, and got my joy off with the ice cream cone. Well, coming back, I stumped my toe upon the big old stone. Need I tell you that I dropped the chocolate ice cream cone? A little puppet came along and took a great big lick. I hit that moon dog you is was just a little bit. And he bit me where I sat down. Then I chased him all over town. Now I'm lost, can't find my home. All because of that chocolate ice cream cone. Thompson had an old gray mule, he drove him around the cart. He loved that mule, and the mule loved him with all his mule's heart. When the rooster crowed, old Thompson knew the day was going to break. I told you, when I was little and I had no sense, I bought me a fiddle for 15 cents. The only thing that I could play was tra-la-la-la, boom, right. That's all it was. I used to tell her that. I said, "Horse, you keep the tail up, keep the sun out of my eye."
Yeah.
Said that to Tom when he was over
Yeah.
me somebody. He said, "I've been fat all over."
I say I ain't.
Laying around town, just spending my time. Nothing else to spend, 'cause I didn't have a dime. When a fellow stepped up and said, "I suppose you're a Bronco fighter for the looks of your clothes. You guesses me right, I'm good when I claim. You happen to have any bad ones to tame?" He said he had one that was a bad one to buck. Throwing good riders, he had lots of luck. He said, "Get your saddle and I'll give you a chance." So we got in the buckboard and we drove to the ranch. I stayed until morning, and right after that I stepped out to see if a dog could buck. Down in the, I don't know all this, down in the horse corral, standing alone, I spied an old strawberry Roan. Oh, his little pin ears that touched at the tip, and he had some trouble all over his hip. He had a little gum and a long lower jaw. I could see with one eye he was a regular outlaw. I buckled on my spurs and sure feeling fine. Next come my saddle and I screwed her down tight. I stepped on him and he raised the blind. He skid out the way for he's gone in a while. He's about the worst bucker that I've seen on the range. He can turn on a nickel and give you some change. He hit on all fours and turned up on his side. I don't see he kept from losing his hide. I'm losing my stirrups and also my hat. And I'm clawing leather and blind as a bat. And there's a big jump, he went up on high. He left me a-sitting up there in the sky. I turned over twice and I come back to earth. And I lit into cursing the day of his birth. I'll bet all of my money that the man's not alive. That I could stay with old Strawberry when he makes that high dive.
Or something.
He's told us all this time.
Yeah. You've known that all this time and you never shared it with us before.
have been what he was singing back there in the kitchen that day that Floyd said, listen, what's Dad singing?
There's little things, some things come up to me once in a while, and I'll think of them, and then I'll forget them, and I'll think about them more for telling when, and then once in a while, I'll put in my head again. I think about that. And I done forgot what I told you about. Oh, about when I was little and had no sense, I bought a fiddle for 15 cents. I hadn't thought of that in a long time.
I was asking him earlier how you all met, how y'all got married and everything. He didn't remember.
Oh, we've known each other so long, before when we was small.
I told her we all played together, and you and Bevia and Abby and David and Grace and
Oh, you played together for a long
all
time.
them for weeks go away and played.
Floyd and Lucy and Buck would come over there. Lucy, I said.
Good damn big. I was 15, 20, I thought I must have been just before I was 9, because I think it was 24. So that's the first time I remember seeing Aunt Mag. She come over and stayed with us all the time. Grandpa was sick. And she'd wait on me, and he's the only one I wanted to wait on me, was Aunt Mag.
What did your Papa and Granddad died on Christmas Day?
Yeah, I think it was Christmas Day when he died. I was better then. I could get up and I remember going to the window looking out, and they brought a hearse there with horses, and then took him out, put him in that hearse. And sort of got around the side and looked in there to see if he's in there right or something. Took him to McQuady, and the horse was, and a hearse was full of horses.
And that was Ruben Anthony.
Yeah.
Ruben. That was Ruben, your grandfather, right?
Yeah. He wasn't.
And got all the boys was born in the family, our children and our boys and all the grandkids and all that. Just one was named after his granddad. Jeremy, which one? Mike, just Ricky's boy's name, named after Ruben. Ruben.
Jonathan Ruben?
Jonathan.
That's the youngest one, ain't it?
Yeah. Ricky started calling
Well,
Ruben.
Franklin's named Ruben Franklin.
Yeah, I know it. I said, our boys, no, we never did name them after me. I'll tell you one thing I wished I'd have done. Never did think about it. 5 boys, and I could name one of them after me if I wanted to, if I'd thought about it. It'd been named after me and their great-granddad.
Buell.
Yeah. I've got a cousin named Mule. I said, Mom had them other boys, and then didn't even name either one of them after Grandpa, and I come along and named me after Grandpa. How we went and got married.
Yeah, how'd you go get married?
We walked.
Huh?
We walked
You walked? How far?
4 miles.
4 miles? From where to where? Where were you married?
Hardenburg.
Hardensburg.
No, went in road wagon.
What?
Went in a wagon, road wagon.
Where in Hardensburg? Where in Hardensburg?
I went to the courthouse and got the license, and then went down to the old preacher's house somewhere there in town. Best learn where he lived. He went with us. He lived there in town. He went with us down at the preacher's house. Some Arnold. I gave him the last dollar I had, that's all. I guess it was.
Start on the cake.
Last dollar you had. Was she worth it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I worked the day before shredding corn.
No, I said, was she worth it?
Oh, worth it. Oh, I thought you said was working.
Uh-huh.
Oh. No, I would have kept that dollar.
Oh,
Oh,
shoot.
that's something awful.
Oh, you worked for about 50 cents a day, wasn't you?
Yeah, most of the time we got 50 cents a day.
Mhm.
I was shredding corn, and Paul was reminding me. I'd hand up corn to him, he'd haul it to the shredder. So it whole fodder dry and won't scratch. Yeah, boy, I'd like to cut my head off. He said, "I'd already cut the head off if you ain't get married." He hadn't been married but a year or two. Man,
Dawn.
sitting on the couch. She got mad about something, got down there on the floor and kicked me, had to fit.
Katie did.
Yeah, Katie, and he couldn't do nothing with it. He said, "You never know the one person, contrary as he is, or about it, is his grandmother." He said, "I believe she's worse than my grandmother." Couldn't do nothing with it, boy. Couldn't do it. She skidded us off on the couch and made her mad. She just went kicking the couch and having a fit.
She's got a temper.
Straighten her up.
Or a mule or something,
Well,
school.
I rode a horse, actually. I got
Horse.
big and just going by himself.
You were special then, weren't you? What was last grade?
6.
6?
They was, I think the way they done that, I'm not certain, the way they, seemed like you go in 6th grade, next year you'd be in 8th grade, next year you'd be in 7th grade. That's what they told me. I don't know whether that's right or not.
8th grade one year and 7th the next?
Oh, but I bet you they were teaching 7th grade one year and 8th the next. I mean, you know, and then 7th, 8th, 7th, 8th. And if you got to the 6th grade, you'd have gone on to the 8th or waited a year for the 7th. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have enough, you know, kids or whatever, teachers and stuff, it's...
Just had one teacher and sometimes be 80 kids going to that one school. Didn't all have lessons.
Probably learn more than what they do now.
I never did go very much.
A lot of them can't
They
even
didn't
count.
work
now.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They go real far.
Well, we never did
They
get to go
hardly
to school very much.
ever any kid ever went to high school back when I was going to school. They most of them didn't. They didn't go to high school. We got out of grade school, they quit. When they got 16 years old, you didn't have to go to school. Alvin Weathers, the oldest boy, James Weathers, he got out of high school. Got out of grade school and he seen Hardinsburg go to high school. And they had a livery stable there in town where people would come in, put their horses, you know, and bunch around there all the time. He'd go up there and sit around there. Hang all day and then come home at night. They thought he was going to school. He didn't go to school.
That was about like Abe and Dave was one time, going to mounting school. I don't know how come I didn't go, but I didn't go to school that day. They went to school, and but they didn't go. They left right and got on the cliffs and stayed on the cliff all day until left towards dinner. Dad come in for dinner, and they thought it was night, and they come to the house, and it's just dinner time. Of course, I guess it seems long to them up there on that cliff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They come to the house, never had been to school.
Got They got.
There's something else too.
Was Ma from Arkansas, or where was she born? Did you say something about when that she came up on a train once with the kids? That Paul moved up here first, or?
They was in Arkansas then. After Mom and Dad married, they moved out there. Grandpa was out there. They went out there. That's where. Then she come. They all had some kind of scarlet fever or something, and Dad was sick, and Mom come on in with the kids, and of course.
His dad come in first, and then she come in with the kids, the way I understood it. He went crazy and come back here.
Well, maybe that's something.
And then,
I can't remember.
then she come in with the kids, and they were sick. That's the way I understood it say. I heard her talk about it one time.
Yeah, Guthrie was sick then, and he didn't live about 10 days after he got back here. He died.
Hmm.
And the youngest of them, can't remember.
I heard them tell about the many snakes down there. They had to cross a big plank or something, go across I reckon a little creek or a little branch or something. Then sometime you get down and there'd be snakes hanging all over that, and they'd stomp at it and make them get off there for them to cross that. Where they live down there somewhere.
Arkansas rattlesnakes?
I guess it was. I don't know.
So whose grandpa was the one that lived down there in Arkansas?
Grandpa Bashan.
Grandpa Bash.
Her daddy, the Sosh's daddy,
What was his name?
Addie.
Abby Buell.
Abby Buell.
When he died, he's 85 years old, and they said he just barely did have some gray hair.
Hmm.
Clear that Indian in him.
Indian blood, yeah. Hmm.
When he died, Mom and Charlotte went to the funeral. So she went with Frank and Myrtle, went to Grandpa's funeral.
When did he die?
I'd have to look in the book to see. Seemed like it's 48.
Charlotte must have been a baby then.
Was she just...
No, Charlie wouldn't have been. Charlie wasn't just a baby.
I know maybe Charlotte.
Stayed down here with us after Lure got killed. She was a little kid, sat in bed between me and Baby. Little Dad, we couldn't keep the cover on her. She kept the cover off his face and put it on.
Uh-huh. I didn't know she stayed here with us for a while.
Yeah. We still kept her, I don't know, a few days or something. I know she slept in bed between me and Baby. And of course, then she went, well, they died, and then she went and stayed with Goldie. Yes. Sold that place up there and see they divided up among all the kids, but it didn't bring much. Maybe $300 a piece or something. Charlotte, of course, got hers. I was the one that took care of it. And had Bob Trent, the lawyer out there. And Charlotte's supposed to get her $300 when she got old enough to get it. And Jess and Goldie come up here and they got the money and paid it. They didn't keep it for her. I didn't say nothing. So there wasn't any benefit to do. Evie oughtn't have got anything because the old man was down there dead part of Evie. Down there.
It was 58 when he died.
58?
Mm-hmm. October the...
Yeah, I never wasn't that early back before.
You mean I had a great-grandfather and I didn't know anything about him?
Well, you know something about him.
I did not.
Okay, you remember Grandma coming, Frank Basham's, of course that was his third wife. Grandma come down here. Frank and Myrtle come down here one day, and Grandma was with us. She never was to my house but one time. Grandma May.
Well, you know, it was your grandmother.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was,
you
wasn't
did,
his
didn't
step-grandmother.
Oh,
His last wife had just had 3 kids, twins, and wife said dies in
Francine.
Franzina's the only one she lived with. She lived in Illinois.
so how does Frank came to you?
And that was his mother.
Maggie?
Oh, well, let's see, how far they coming. Oh,
He just
Grandpa?
came to her.
Grandpa, I saw all the time that Grandpa and Frank's dad was brothers. But Myrtle said they was cousins.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know. And we're a little kin, but
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't know.
That mammy.
huh?
From old man Basham married Frank's mammy.
Yeah.
Last time.
Ain't May. I mean, I'll call her Grandma May. My first year of school, we lived in Horseshoe Bend, and we started school in July, and went to Westview. Started in July, and I would have been 7 years old in August. And we come right by here, and well, not all the way.
All right.
What?
We come right by here. And one time we'd come to school, and between here and the barn, there's a gate there we had to come through. And Miss Clark and one of her sons was standing up there. She was standing up there to the little Model T car. She was standing up there by him just talking. She hollered, you children hurry up, said, come on, said, you can ride up to Westview. My Lord, we hurried because we'd never rode in a car before. We got there and got in that car and rode to Westview. And we couldn't hardly wait to get home to tell Dad and Mom that we rode in the car.
Yeah. Rode in the car.
That was something else too.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, didn't go to school up there but 1 year. Every time it rained very hard to get the creek up.
Mm-hmm.
And David, he'd just cry because he didn't think it would start raining. He'd start crying at school because he's afraid we couldn't get back across the creek.
Mm-hmm.
And one time it did rain and got the creek up. And Dad went and sawed a tree down and let it fall over the creek. Made us foot log, we call it.
Mm-hmm.
And he went on across the creek and Mr. Piper lived just across the creek from us. Well, of course, we went to school with Maggie and Catherine. We was all school together. So they come on up to Westview. And then we come on back, or we had to go back across that creek. We had to go back on that log, walk across that log and get back home.
Oh.
And that was our last year at school there. We started in going to Mattingly's.
Hmm.
So it wasn't any further, I guess. Maybe when I wouldn't be as far, I don't know. I don't know how come we didn't start going there in the first place. We just don't count Maggie and them, Kuipers over there. We wanted to go to school with them, so we went to Westview.
Hmm.
That's my year.
Mm-hmm. So there used to be a road up there, or?
Yeah, the road
Yeah,
come
right
right
up over
around
them
here,
rocks
right in
there.
front. Went right on around them rocks there, right on up by Alan's house up there.
Hmm.
Right in front of the house, then you go on to Westview.
Oh.
And up through there. Of course, it didn't go like it, just went on through there.
Hmm.
Come out way up there about the upper place. You had to go around up to Westview.
That road, it's a crooked, it come, Alvin Patterson barn over here built right in the old road. Come right down there,
Over
and come
here.
across here, over them rocks and up there and right in front of that old house where Alvin lived. Went on up through there and went over there in Herman Niles' house or wherever KG lived. It's built in the old road. And went on there and across the road again, went over back of that house where Carol used to live up there at the Nottingham house up
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Went in behind that house and went on up there and then crossed the highway again and went in behind, went in front of the church over there and went went up through there and then crossed the road again, took off a little strip, but come back and went in on the other side of that house where Sylvie lives. See, the highway's on this side. He went on that side, that was right at Barnum Tennis house. On through there, they got way over below Mount Zion, and then it turned, went right across up there, and went right through there, and then lined around out there and went to Harley. It went out crooked around.
Sounds like it must have been twice as far to get any place as it was.
Well, it's a crooked, the roads are so
Yeah.
crooked.
Whatever.
Once you had to go on road wagons in, didn't make a difference how muddy it got, they just get in the old wagon and pee and take off.
Yeah.
That's the way they had to do it.
Yeah, dead boy, there was some places in them old roads.
Far down nearly, yeah.
It was some kind of gooey dirt, just kind of blue looking. And he'd get muddy and the wagon wheels just roll up the mud all the time. It was awful. Horses couldn't hardly pull through it. They'd go that deep in mud and pull their feet out.
Had clay in it? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's something like that. And so it was
What's that?
blue looking. And some people got
Hearing
to
aid.
taking the front part of the wagon to take a couple of poles, see the back wheel, and I had a long couple of poles fastened together. Of course, they take the bed off the wagon, undo that coupling pole, and put a piece across what they call the hounds, come back behind the front wheel, and they'd set up on that and just have the front end of the wagon go to the store or something. They couldn't hardly pull the whole wagon, they'd just take the front end of it. We never did do that. We always had a buggy, you know. Of course, we'd get muddy, but a horse and buggy. Well, that's go many a time I'd go to Kirk and old buggy, a horse and buggy. Frank and Elsie married and lived on the place where we lived. And that was every Saturday, that was mine and Elsie's job. I'd drive a buggy and me and her go to the store at Kirk and get her groceries.
How old was you then?
Well, Elsie and Franklin married. See, Elsie wasn't, I don't know whether she was about 18, I guess. And see, Elsie was, I think about 6 years older than me. Yeah, I was over there. I was about 14, I guess, 13 or 14, I guess.
Frank and Elsie married in 1910.
Yeah, and see, I was 15.
1910?
19, no.
No.
They never married in 19.
Nah, they married in 28.
Yeah.
She was born 1910.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
come
so I
on
thought
now.
She was 2
Yeah.
years younger than
Yeah.
Franklin. She was 18, Franklin was 20, I believe, when they married. I believe it was, but she could have been 19, I don't know. But, let's see.
She was 5 years older than you then.
Yeah, when Larry passed away, we was up at the funeral home, Durden, Elsie was up there, and we got talking about her age or something. She said, yeah, I said, when Franklin married, said, you was just a little boy. I said, now, I said, we were both about the same age. Of course, it don't make that much difference then
Yeah.
as you get older, 4 or 5 years, ain't it?
It's a big
Yeah,
difference.
Franklin was born 1908.
Yeah,
She was born 1910.
that's what I said. He was
Yeah.
2 years older than her. I knew that. Hardy born 6, Hardy in 8.
Well, how old was you then? They married in 28,
He was 13.
13.
Yeah, Franklin smoked cigarettes. She'd get him a pack or 2 of cigarettes, and she said, if you want cigarettes, if you'd open and give me a cigarette, because they didn't know I smoked one. I wouldn't. In some places they were raised better than we were others. We never had no local. I had a box down here. And one time they raised down and had one little bird, and they tried to get him out to fly, and he had a part of the end of his wing broke. He couldn't fly, and he fell out. I put him on a pole, put him back up there, and he went back in the box, but he got out again. I think the dog killed him. I think he ever did fly. Talking about people working like to do, of course, everybody wasn't like that in every country, but we lived there on Alvin Weather's place. He never did make nothing. His wife was old Matthias Miller's granddaughter, and they give him stuff all the time. Give him farm and give him no telling what. And we'd milk a bunch of cows. Me and Mom and Dad would milk them overnight. And me and Dad and Franklin would milk them in the morning. Get up before good daylight. Sometimes we'd milk 15 cows by hand and separate the milk, put the cream in a can for Alvin to sell, and take that milk and feed the hog, his hog. We done all that for nothing. We didn't get nothing for it. Of course, we get cream and butter, something like that, what we wanted, but we didn't got nothing. We'd do that, we'd work for him, or we and Dad raised the crops. Well, we'd have quitting time, go in and milk all them cows.
Looks like you already got paid for
Never
that.
got nothing for it.
Yeah.
And after, when we was fixing to move from old bungalow, I was hunting a place. You couldn't find a place to work back then. And then hunted everywhere. And Alvin and Dad was going to stay with me. Wanted to trade with me down. And I went down there to see him. And Dad told me, he said, just however you trade with him, he said, I'll do my part. Just for your trade. Went down there and I heard him and James talking. They come out and met him at an old house where they stripped the backer. I heard Alvin talking. I heard him tell James, said, yeah, said, Fed here said they'd want everything just like they wanted or something. I know he didn't want, he really want to trade with him. And told me about the cows he wanted us to milk, you know, all them cows that he wouldn't set a stake at how many that he wanted us to milk, you know. And we were raising the crop and then milking cows for nothing. It didn't work. I didn't trade
I
with
didn't
him.
know that.
That's when we moved over here then, moved Kingswood and kept our children. Kingswood lived in that old store where Jason and Mule lived. They moved over there. We lived there about 3 weeks and then moved down to Sylvie.
I thought we lived there longer than that.
No, we moved there in the first part of January and moved the last part of January over to Sylvie's. And cold.
It seemed to me like we were longer than that.
We wasn't there. Jess and Goldie got married after we done moved from. Oh yeah, we lived Sylvie's then.
I see, they got married the 5th day of
5th
March.
of March. We done moved Sylvie's
Oh, yeah.
long before that. Yeah, we moved the last part of January.
I know we
We
moved
lived
there and put the bed up, and old Mr. Anderson didn't tell us that that room leaked like it did, and it leaked on that bed, got it all wet, and he didn't even tell Buck that it rained and leaked.
They lived there, you know, and one of them rooms out, the roof was bad on it.
We didn't
We
know.
put a stove up in there and put up 2 beds in there and had a feather bed and everything on them. And it come rain, we was over Jake and stayed all night over there and come back next morning, turned real cold, icicles froze from the bed to the floor. It leaked clear through that bed and all.
And old Mr. Anderson didn't even tell
He
us.
never even told us that. He said he never even put that bed up, put it in the wrong place. Well, your father already told us about it leaking.
Mean, wasn't he?
And I don't know why he just
Oh,
never
he
thought
just-
about
he
it or
just
what.
He just didn't tell. I guess he thought we'd find out. And
We did. And I'd canned, boy, no, we just had a great big bunch of boxes stacked up there in the, well, it was the kitchen part then, we made the kitchen out of it.
Yeah.
All this fruit, you know, and that night then some of my fruit froze, the jars didn't bust, but
It didn't
some
hurt 'em, though.
Didn't hurt it, but they did freeze.
Red Thorn moved from down there from nowhere. And you load all that stuff up there, all that store, moved it there. Sylvia is real muddy. Went down there and unloaded that. Charged me $2 for moving.
No, we moved that old log house, just an old big log house, big old logs outside.
Two log rooms and had a hall between them, you know.
And had a little room built, a little kitchen like outside there later on, but the other 2 rooms just on big logs.
And where was this?
Place where David Stenick lives now.
And
Turn off
we
right
moved
up.
there.
Oh,
Sylvia's known to go down for that. It was down.
We see, we moved it, when do we move, they said?
Hmm?
When do we move in there? January,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, you
Carol was
did.
born in next December,
Gilbert.
September.
Gilbert.
Gilbert was born in the next December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just had Carol born.
And Gilbert and Stanley and Paul was born there, and then we moved down on the creek. Get you out of the creek.
Got me out of the creek. I'm a creek baby.
Well, the night that he was born, Dee Wheeler was supposed to come down there, you know.
Boy, it rained. the
Water's
creek
over the
was-
wall, and she couldn't even get across.
No,
We
I had to go. I went up to Craven Smiley's,
It's a
and
mile.
then Craven, and I took the lantern, and it was getting daylight, and me and him walked in, went on up to Seabury. His mother and daddy lived up there, and that old woman, she sometimes would take care of things
Late
like that,
Liza, they
Late
call her.
Liza Smiley, but she was kind of poorly, and she called the doctor, and Dr. Matthews, and told me
He'd already quit practicing.
he'd come out to Seabury, and Delby Priest, Herman Galloway had an old Model A Ford car, and Delby Priest would drive it and bring him down there to dock down there, and it's pretty rough right through the old dirt road, muddy, out the old field thing. Delby said, Doctor, Delby, can you make it down there? He said, I'll get there with part of it. And the doctor wrote, well, I'll try to be on the part to get there then. And he come down there.
Well, he was 3 hours old, an hour or two old,
Well,
I
yes,
guess.
he was born before I left out.
He was already born before he left, and he had to do all that. And he had to come from Harnett.
When Miss
Doctor
Molly,
did?
she said about, said, well, said she could go, yes, but after I get up, said, sometimes I can do all right. And then she said, well, said, maybe I better not. Said, he's called the doctor then. She called the doctor.
He stopped up there at Mr. Smiley's. And
Miss Smiley come down
Yeah.
and Craven's wife.
Craven brought her and brought her on down there. And she was there when the doctor.
Yeah, they come with me. When I come back,
Oh,
Craven
whatever.
and Craven and
No,
his
I didn't know
wife
how
come
it
down
was.
there.
She come.
I was
She was one that dressed you. It was Francis
Wheeler's mother.
Wheeler's mother, you know.
Hmm.
She washed and dressed you. And as she washed and dressed, she had a rocking chair. She took you later on her shoulder, she rocked. She said, I'm gonna be the first one to rock her. And she just sat there and rocked. She went back and
Yeah, Carol said that Carol knew the baby's born. Well, left, and he wanted to know if it was a boy or a girl. And I said, we have to wait till the doctor gets here. I didn't tell him. He wanted a girl.
what was it? We had two names picked out, and you asked him which one he wanted, or something, and I had to, and he said he thought Shirley,
Linda.
Linda, or Shirley. Yeah, he thought that he liked Shirley.
Call Shirley.
Well, he was born in May. I'd been May. He was May.
Yeah.
And that May was, I call that May. May was supposed to be after Eula.
It's yeah, but my brothers always used to tell me when I was little that if I'd been born one day later, my name would have been Shirley June.
Shirley June instead of May.
Yeah, 'cause I was born on the last day of May.
Yeah, well, could have been, could have been.
She, Stanley's birthday's the 30th, and yours 31st, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Jake Wheeler come over there, I believe that evening after Creek went down.
Don't take a long
We live right across the creek from us. He come over and helped me set the backer. Up there where he tore down an old house up there I had broke up and had the back away.
Renee was born on the 31st of December.
Floyd's birthday is the 30th, and hers 31st.
No, Gilbert's.
Yeah, what's it?
Stanley's.
Well, I get it right, but I can't think of nothing.
Yeah, I was-
Mark's, though, is January the 31st of 1966, and Renee's December the 31st of 1966.
Oh.
Exactly 11 months difference in their
Who's
ages.
that?
Mark,
Mark.
he was born in 66, and so was Renee, but there's 11 months difference in their ages.
I was little and I called you 2 or 3 times, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
I was up right to
Yeah.
our house. and I called you and see how you feeling.
Yeah, I was up there by
I
myself.
was feeling good, and then I called back again. That's why I see how you feeling before I left him up there.
Yeah. Larry had come down to pick up Ken. He was down here in the country, and he got brought his mom and dad back with him. So I was just getting ready to call a cab or something. Never forget going to the hospital then because
Well, was that the hospital where your kids